Hey guys, subscribe for daily knife content, and if you're shopping for knives and gear, make sure you check out the description of the video you're watching right now for links to some great online retailers. There's also individual links for knives that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Benchmade Mediator automatic knife. Now, I gotta be honest with you, I didn't really know that this existed up until very recently. I assumed that it was a brand new model, and I believe that it's fairly new. It's new to me. I just had never seen it, and I thought, wow, the profile looks good. It's an automatic. I like Benchmade. Their quality just seems to be getting better and better and better. So, yeah, absolutely. This knife was sent in to me by somebody who wishes to remain anonymous, and that's perfectly fine. Thank you so much for sending it. And thanks so much to my generous patrons who are supporting me right now. If you'd like to check out my Patreon, there's a link down in the description. And please remember to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Let's go ahead and get a measurement of this guy. Overall length of the Mediator, which by the way will be linked right down in the description so you can pick it up, along with Benchmade knives in general. Overall length is coming in at about 7 3/4 inches overall. So, this is very similar to the size of the Benchmade Bug Out and Benchmade Bailout. Blade length is coming in at about 3 1/4. Your cutting edge is coming in at about 3 inches. This will be illegal for some people in some areas due to length and or the fact that it is an automatic knife or switchblade. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons up against the Ontario Rat 1 and its little brother, the Rat 2. So you can see here, very similar in sort of slenderness to the Rat 2, but it's a little bit longer, a little shorter than the Rat 1. How about up against the Spyderco PM2 and Para 3? You can see here, definitely shorter than the PM2, a little longer than the Para 3, definitely more slender than both of them. Last but not least, the Benchmade Griptilian and Benchmade Mini Griptilian, and actually not the Benchmade Griptilian, of course, in this case, the Ritter Hogue. You can see here we're approaching the length of the Ritter Hogue, just much more slender and definitely longer than the Benchmade Mini Griptilian. Let's go ahead and do a hardware check, get out my tools as per usual. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the description if you'd like to pick them up. Benchmade's pivots are usually T10. Let's take a look here real quick. And that is the case. We have a T10 pivot. And also, Benchmade, as per usual, we have T6 screws. I don't have to check them. They're T6 on the frame. So we have a couple holding in what I assume is probably a small cartridge liner on the inside. There are a bunch of them, including on the pocket clip. So, as is the case with all Benchmade knives, just be careful if you're going to disassemble them. Make sure that you've got somewhere to put the screws because there's a bunch of them. But, okay. Carry profile. Thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. You can see here it's really not all that thick. Maximum thickness is just about identical to the Para 3. In terms of length and height, closed, you can see here. This is not going to be a difficult object to carry. It's just ever so slightly longer than the Para 3, shorter than the PM2, nowhere near as tall. And considering the thickness is roughly the same, you shouldn't have a problem with it. Let's go ahead and measure blade stock thickness here real quick. This knife is centered, by the way, but the whole thing is just leaning this way. I'll show centering here in a little bit. Blade stock thickness on the Benchmade Mediator is coming in at 113 thousandths or so, so a nice thin blade stock. We're looking at G10, and then on the inside here, get my flashlight. You can pick up my flashlight down in the description. We're looking at a small steel cartridge liner, which is fine. That's going to help reduce weight and keep some of the strength and rigidity, so I'm happy with that. Weight, where's my scale? There it is, on the other side of the table today. Weight on the Mediator coming in at a whopping 2.79 ounces, which on this channel means ultra lightweight. Anything that's under 3 ounces is just ultra lightweight. The difference between a 1.5 ounce knife and a 2.9 ounce knife, I don't even notice. It's very lightweight. It's going to hit those ratios for a lot of people. If you can legally carry a knife of this size and a knife that is automatic, I think you're going to be very, very pleased with the weight on this guy. Let's go ahead and move into the bulk of the review. So we have very visually attractive and to the touch, this sort of ribbed G10 texturing. This looks really nice. I really like this. And on top of that, I mean, it's not like the handle's very easy to hang on to. In fact, ergonomics on this guy are very good. It's using the better clip. We're going to talk about that. But I can get a full 4-finger grip on this guy. It's a little bit contoured. You can see there's kind of a rise in the G10. And then the texturing actually does offer meaningful traction. I'm really happy with the ergonomics on this guy. They're simple, straightforward, but I feel secure. I mean, it feels really good in the hand. It's not like, oh my gosh, out of this world, like Spyderco Shaman kind of ergonomics, but really, really good. I'd honestly give the ergos on this guy an A. I'm very happy with this. It's very comfortable. Fills out the hand while not being too big or not being too thin. The inside of these lips right here are nicely knocked down. I'm going to turn the exposure up just a little bit because we have a very dark knife and a very light background. This is knocked down. Nice chamfering on the edges right here. Really extra chamfering there. So it's really, I can't emphasize enough. This is comfortable. It's really, really nice. Absolutely very happy with the way that they did the G10 scales. This is an automatic knife, so of course you push the button and it fires. The button is not totally recessed. So I wish they would have, because in this situation it actually makes sense for this knife to have a safety, right? If you recess that button a little bit more like on a lot of Pro-Techs, then you don't have to worry nearly as much about it deploying in your pocket. Either way, people down in the comment section back me up. Those of you who have owned automatic knives, even with automatic buttons or the buttons that are not recessed, how often does it go off in your pocket? Pretty much never. I'm going to guess basically never. There's going to be one guy down there going, went off on me while I was mountain climbing and it cut my harness and I fell. Luckily, I survived. I'm just joking. It's actually not something that's funny to joke about. But what I'm saying is it's very unlikely for that to happen. But I'd rather it be fully recessed. It sticks up just a little bit, right? So the safety's there. You can't deploy it until the safety's off and you push the button, right? You can also lock it out if you want to, right? Okay, it is what it is. Not really that big of a deal. Firing power. How does it fire? This knife, by the way, is running on phosphor bronze, which is great. That's generally the case with Benchmade knives. It's pretty snappy, guys. It's pretty powerful. This is approaching, Pro-Tech, if not on par with some Pro-Tech knives. That's great. If it's going to be an automatic, people want that. They want that snap. Considering this is a small, slender profile knife, it's kind of satisfying that it's got so much firing power, right? Here's the other thing that I like. Sometimes with automatic knives, you have kind of a mushy click into place. Listen to this. Oh, that lock, for whatever reason on this design, it clicks. There is no question that that thing is locked into place. I've handled a couple of autos where I get it down here and I feel it click and I'm like, is it really locked? No, this one, yeah, it's nice. I like the clickiness, right? Very cool. Blade shape is something like the 940 blade with a different type of swedge. Maybe a little less. Maybe it's a little more snub-nosed out here. In any case, the blade shape looks good. But here's the cool thing. Probably S30V, right? No! This is S90V with Benchmade's website. Benchmade.com/Pat. Maybe they have to put that on there. Websites don't belong on pocket knives. Please. But it's there. So, okay. It's S90V, though. That's cool. What is S90V? S90V is stainless. Not super tough, but it has incredible edge retention. Edge retention that exceeds M390. And Benchmade generally does a great job with their heat treat. So, you get to enjoy the automatic nature of this knife. Slender profile, good ergonomics, good snappy action. And S90V steel, which is great. It's not a super tough steel, but this isn't a knife that is like oozing the idea of toughness. It's not a knife that I would take out and really, like absolutely beat. Usually Benchmade automatics are included in the black class, which has an indication that it's for tactical scenarios, and tactical scenarios often sort of, synchronize with the idea of hard use knives. I don't know. I feel like they leave the implication up to us. So for me, this is just a really nice automatic knife that's got a slender profile that I might use for EDC tasks, and in that situation, I would make plenty good use of S90V steel. Edge retention in a knife like this is one of the most important factors. It's not the most important factor for every knife, but in a knife like this, I think it makes sense, right? Blade stock's pretty thin because of this center point, right? The swedge is deep, and then it just comes to a peak, right? Maximum thickness of the blade is right down the middle. You can see there how it sort of carries out right here. So nice, reasonable strength out at the tip. Not a lot of room to drop towards the cutting edge. And we're not looking at a laser beam. We're not looking at mega thickness, but we're not looking at a laser beam. Will it get the job done? Yeah, absolutely. This blade is, it's very versatile. You're going to be able to do a wide variety of different general EDC style tasks, right? Maybe a few irregular things, but generally speaking, the stuff that most of us do with our knives, cardboard, rope, envelopes, rubber, wood, right? Whatever it is we're cutting, this is going to do it just fine. I like how the blade looks. I really like the all black look of this as well. I think this looks really, really good. You have a nice sharpening tool right here because it's an automatic knife and not a thumb stud opener. There's nothing in the cutting path. So that's excellent. In fact, the whole profile of this just looks really good. I really like how this looks. This really looks like, it's like if the Benchmade bug outs and the Benchmade 940 automatic had a baby. That's what this looks like to me. And I think it was executed very well. This is not an ambidextrous knife, though left-handed people probably won't find that much trouble deploying it. You just have to use your index finger. Can I close it with my left hand? Yeah, I can. Right? So left-handed people are going to be better at that than me. You're just going to be using your index finger, right? But there is a position on the other side for the clip. So left-handed people who are okay with tip-up carry, you have that option. That's great. A couple of black standoffs back here, and that's fine. Pocket clip is it's being kept from being absolutely deep carry by the screw that's up here, and that screw's up there because there's a lanyard hole right here. It's not that big of a deal. The lanyard hole could have been somewhere over here. The screw could have been brought back. It doesn't need to carry that deep because this is all the more of the knife that's sticking up out of your pocket. And pocket clips that allow the knife to be carried absolutely deep are not absolutely better than knives that have pocket clips that, you know, have to carry a medium. It's shallow that's bad. Everything in between is just fine. So this is great. And the pocket clip is excellent. This is a perfect pocket clip for this knife. Doesn't need to be any longer than that because of the shape and the size of it. It's not a hot spot at all. Seriously, just an absolute joy to hold this. I mean, it just feels great in hand. I mean, it's usually not the case with a small knife that I'm like, wow, that's pretty nice. That's why I'm emphasizing it, right? Texturing on the scales and the contour. Oh, it's so good. I really, really like that. Lockup. I thought, okay, it's a Benchmade auto. It's probably gonna have a little side to side. No, in fact, even going a little bit beyond and trying to, this is solid. Absolutely solid. Nice, smooth action, and as you can see here, can we see it? The blade is absolutely centered. That's excellent. Nice work, Benchmade. I've been really pushing the whole, listen guys, Benchmade's quality control is getting better and better and better, right? It's nice to be repeatedly proven right, especially on a knife that's clearly been used a little bit. Couple of wear marks on the pocket clip. The edge is definitely factory, but I can tell it's been through a couple of things, right? It's not brand new. That's awesome. Nitpicks. This should be recessed so we don't need a safety. Some people like the safety. I think it's better that it's just it's recessed a little bit, just not quite enough, right? Blade shape is great. It's a little bit thick behind the edge for how thin the stock is, but is that big of a deal? No, not really. Not sure exactly why we had to have that screw right there and couldn't move the pocket clip up, but that's not necessarily, it's not necessarily a disadvantage, right? Listen, there's not a lot to complain about here. This is a really cool knife, and it's like, did everybody know about this? And it's like, wow, the Mediator's a really good knife, and then I just didn't know? This is really good. I like this a lot. What's the price on it, right? People are like, whoa, 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 Complex, calm down. What's the price? This is a Benchmade, right? Let's keep in mind, this is a US-made automatic knife, and Benchmade has an excellent warranty, if not the very best knife warranty in existence, right? Really good. Let's also consider what ProTech charges for their US automatics. You guys know that I've maintained that ProTech makes the best side-opening automatic knives in the world, and they generally use materials like aluminum, which is generally a material that you'll see roughly in the same price range as knives with not just G10, but this quality of G10, right? There's a little bit more that went into. And I'm not saying G10 like it's a special type of G10. I'm saying the work that went into these G10 scales as far as the texturing and it's nicer, right, than just like a flat G10 scale that you might find on a budget knife. You might find aluminum in the same ballpark, right? ProTech likes to use 154 cm and occasionally S35VN. Every now and then something else, right? Their knives come in anywhere from $150 to about $250. Now they stray from this a little bit, but they are roughly in that zone. I've never seen S90V on a ProTech, and I know for a fact, well, I say for a fact, like I don't work in powder metallurgy. I don't buy large quantities of, bar stock steel, right? From what I've heard, S90V is a lot more expensive than some of these steels like 154CM, S35VN, right? Some of the steels that ProTech uses. A base, like for Benchmade to get a hold of it from Crucible. So, keep that in mind. This knife comes in at $250. I don't think that's terrible. I'm actually fairly okay with that. $225, I would have been like, done, sold, done. It's $25 up, okay. Is the Benchmade warranty worth an extra $25? I think so. From what I understand, go read through everything that Benchmade includes in their warranty. Me personally, listen, I've spent $250 on a Benchmade before, many times, right? Sometimes I felt better about it, sometimes I didn't. There are definitely other knives in Benchmade's line that I feel like a lot of people are going to go, for $250, it should have been carbon fiber. I mean, should it have been? Okay, maybe, I guess. Would have been cool. They could have textured it the same way, right? I'm just not all that bent out of shape about the price. I think this is great. In fact, I think I'm going to say it's recommendable. If you can carry an automatic knife of this size legally, yeah, I think you'll be really happy with this. This is really, really good. It's like I said, it's like a Benchmade 940 and bug out mixed together in an auto. And I like it. I actually like it better than the bug out in the 940. I like the 940. I'm bored by it. The Benchmade bug out I'm not necessarily a huge fan of, while I will admit it is a good design. But this, both from a practical standpoint and from the perspective of an enthusiast, I think this is cool. I think this is very advantageous and make an excellent EDC. I think a lot of people would like this. So, if you all already knew about this, you're like, yeah, duh, Mediator's a good knife. Thanks for letting us know, Complex. Well, I'm sorry. But if you didn't know, and you want my opinion, this is great. Check this out. I'll link it right down below along with other Benchmade knives that are currently available so you can see what else is going on. Very, very cool. Very nice. I like that a lot. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.